Welcome to MIRA University. I'm your host AJ, and today we're going to be going over one of the most important things you need to know as a survivalist, and that is using a gas mask. First up on our gas mask, we're going to identify the separate components. First and foremost is our visor. This is what allows us to see in an operating environment. We want to keep that clean. We also want to inspect it and make sure that we don't have any cracks or abrasions on it. Next up, on the interior of the gas mask, we have our nose cup. This is important because we need to make sure that we are donning it in a way that allows us to use our drinking tube. On the back of our mask, we have our 6-point head harness. Using a 6-point system to secure it to our head is going to make sure that we have a good seal when we're using our gas mask. Moving forward, we have our front module and our exhalation port. We want to make sure that we're inspecting this for any kind of crack or physical damages. And on the exhalation port, we want to make sure that nothing is blocking this port as well. Here we have our filter connection ports. Inside of this is a check valve, disc valve. We want to inspect that, make sure that we don't have any obstructions, make sure we don't see any physical damage. That's what's going to allow us to fix our filter, as seen here. We have our completed gas mask. Next up on the side of the gas mask, we have our drinking tube. We're going to prep our gas mask for quick donning by moving our head straps to the front like so. So this is also going to give us a little bit more visibility into the drinking hose here. So our drinking hose, first we want to remove it from its clasp. We want to bring it out. So we want to remove our protective cap here like so. We also want to take into account our valve director right here. Inside of the mask, we can find our drinking tube. As we see here, your valve director, when ready to be used, will then direct the drinking tube into your mouth. Also make sure that we do not have the tube stuck inside of the chin cup here. Now, when we are connecting our drinking tube to our canteen, you want to make sure that you are applying a generous amount of force to ensure that we have a tight seal, like so. Twisting motion helps. And now we are all established. We make sure that our drinking tube is facing our mouths and the water bottle is gravity fed. Moving on to how to actually use your gas mask. So, first and foremost, I would recommend storing your gas mask with a filter installed if you're ready for immediate threat. But I like to try to get these on before I put it on. You can see that you're going to have better dexterity. I think you're going to get it on easier like this. So now that we have our harness stored in the front, our filter is affixed, and we're ready to put it on, we are going to close our eyes, hold our breath, and make sure that our chin cup is lining up perfectly on the inside. When we put the mask on, we want to make sure that we are exhaling and covering our exhaust port like so, while also in the same motion bringing the harness over, which I will now demonstrate. Now, when we're putting on our straps, we want to do them in tandem. So, like so, 1, 2, and 3. Now, I want to make sure we're doing our negative pressure test. So, we're going to cover up our filters and inhale. You know that you have a good seal when the mask pulls in tight and you're not able to bring in any more air. Otherwise, you want to recheck your seal. You want to make sure that all of these are tight, position them, pull them a little bit tighter, and make sure that everything is lined up properly. Cover again. And now we're ready to operate. Now that we've escaped and evaded whatever threat we were countering, we want to make sure that we're taking good care of our gas mask. So that involves a whole healthy amount of cleaning. And what we want to do is first we want to take a look at our mating surface. So this is critical to keep clean. Just give that a wipe here. This is what's given us our seal, and that is our lifeline, the whole reason why we're wearing the mask. So make sure that we're giving that a few rounds, making sure we don't have any skin, hair, or Vaseline, which we'll get to in a moment. We'll make sure that we're coming around the sides, inside of the nose cup. Make sure that we are peeling open the inside of the gas mask. Clearing the inside like so. Moving on to our nose cup, making sure that we are peeling up the inner flaps, and then also peeling down our nose cup here, like so, and making sure that we are not missing any areas. It's critical to good hygiene. At this point, it's also advisable to make sure that we are keeping the inside of our visor clean, like so. Give that a few generous wipes. And the inside of our mating surface. So now that we have the inside of our mask clean, we're going to move on to the front. So on our visor, again, after using, we want to check for any kind of cracks, abrasions, or anything else. Give that a good wipe. Give the exterior as well. And then as a general cleanliness tip, make sure that we're cleaning our flat surfaces all around. Keep in mind when choosing a cleaner for your gas mask, a light solution of bleach and water is recommended. Now that we have our gas mask all good and clean, there's one tip we have to talk about, revisiting the idea of using Vaseline with your gas mask. So it is a bit of, I don't want to call it a wives' tale or something like that, but you're going to get the best seal out of your gas mask with these two things here, over Vaseline, petroleum jelly, whatever you like to use. So a nice clean shaven face is going to give you a perfect mating surface, skin to gas mask every time. Whatever you have available, I would recommend shaving your face. Personally, I like a good single blade as it's going to avoid razor bumps, but in a life or death situation, use what you have available. Now that we've identified the components of our gas mask, we've gone over proper usage, and we've talked a little bit about cleaning, the last thing we need to know is how to store our gas mask. We want to store our gas mask in a safe location, preferably one that is temperature stable and away from sunlight and UV light. Temperature stable because rubber does not love expansion and contraction over time. That's going to weaken our gas mask. So we want to make sure that we're storing it somewhere that's not a cold garage and maybe not a hot car. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure to share, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Until next time, stay savvy, survivalists.